World Series champs came to Oakland last night and did not let up on the Athletics. The Astros' 16 runs on 20 hits had the green and gold frustrated as they were beaten all around on the diamond. The A's need to shake that one off and look to their ace to even up this series. Sean Manaea gets the nod, making his first visit to the mound where he made history by pitching the 7th no-hitter in Oakland history. A's and Astros, Game 2, coming up next. It's a beautiful night for baseball. The A's, well, they forgot about what happened last night. They are set to go for Game 2 of this series. What a pitching matchup. Lance McCullers Jr. against Sean Manaea. It's the Oakland A's and the Houston Astros coming up on NBC Sports California, powered by Xfinity. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Oakland A's Baseball. Along with Ray Fosse, I'm Glenn Kuiper. Sean Manaea will be looking for his 5th win of the year. One of those wins came in Houston just a little while ago, and he pitched great. That was the start right after the no-hitter.
You know, I think that's the biggest thing, because you pitch a no-hitter against one of the best teams in baseball, the Boston Red Sox, and what do? The next one, the reigning world champions. He did a great job. 7 innings of great pitching. He gave up a hit to Correa. Actually, the first hit that he gave up, retired the first 9 batters, but did a great job. 7 innings, unearned run that he gave up. So you look at 16 innings for Sean Manaea. Back-to-back starts at 2 of the best teams in baseball. Pretty impressive.
All right, the Houston Astros, best ERA in the American League. They throw a quality start there out there every night. Tonight it's Lance McCullers. For more on that, here's Dallas.
Yeah, they have got a stable of stallions down there, boys, no doubt about it, and we know about all 5 of them, but tonight they're going to run out Lance McCullers. And this individual has been nothing short of fantastic for the Houston Astros, and he's comfortable against the Oakland A's, and he does it in a rare way, guys. He's got a steady mix of heaters to the inside, great arm side run. He's got tremendous spin rate on the fastball and the curveball as well. He can start you off with it. He can go backdoor against the lefties, back foot against the lefties as well, expand away against the righties. He's really got a tremendous mix going tonight. So for the Oakland A's, it's a coin flip, really. Fastball, curveball, you got to get the foot down and be on time against this guy.
All right, thanks, Dallas. Speaking of pitching, it's the 50-year anniversary of Jim Catfish Hunter's perfect game right here at the Coliseum, so we will talk about that. And you know who's in town? Campy Campaneris is here.
brought to you by Toyota. Designed for the grind that comes through every time. See your local Toyota dealer today. Toyota. Let's go places. And by Jack in the Box. Try the new Cholula Buttery Jack. Part of the Buttery Jack family. Only at Jack in the Box.
Bruce Maxwell and the Athletics take the field. Game 2 of the series. Let's call it a bounce-back night for the Athletics, as they will send their ace to the mound, Sean Manaea. Game time weather tonight is presented by the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. Boardwalk is open. Visit beachboardwalk.com for park hours. 61 degrees. Humidity at 74%. I don't know if that's a lot or not. I don't think it is. Wind gusts are at 15 miles per hour.
Not for Wisconsin.
I should know that, I guess. The break-even point on the humidity percentage.
That's good, guy. I like that. Little meteorologist here.
Study up. Astros lineup: Springer, Altuve, Correa, as always. Then Gurriel, Bregman, Gonzalez, Gaddis, McCann, Marisnik. That's your Houston Astros starting lineup.
Can I think about what you just said a little bit more?
Nope.
Sean Manaea does not care what humidity is. He grew up in Indiana where humidity was really, really high, but he's a really, really good pitcher. As you see his numbers on the season, 4-3, bounce back for him after his last start. But we know what he did against the Red Sox and the Astros, and they'd like to duplicate that tonight in the start.
Defensively for the A's, they'll have Joyce, Pinder, and Piscotty in the outfield. Chapman, Simeon, Lowry, and Olson on the infield. Bruce Maxwell is the catcher. So Springer's ready. So is Sean Manaea, and so are we for the start of this ball game. George Springer's probably feeling pretty good today.
He's going to swing.
Yes, he is. Why would you not? He has to feel like he may get a hit every time, because he did last night.
You remember when Billy Burns hit the first pitch against Felix Hernandez?
I do.
He threw a fastball right down the middle. Billy Burns hit it. Felix said, I don't care. I'm still going to throw the same pitch. And I don't care if he hits it or not. Not everybody. I mean, that was a fastball right there, right down the middle. Springer found it straight back.
That's Doug Eddings calling balls and strikes. Marty Foster at first, Mark Ripperger at second. Joe West, the crew chief, is down at third.
Happy.
1-1 to Springer. Springer pops it up right field. Piscotty in and over toward the line a little bit, and he's got it. Springer, of course, last night 6 for 6.
There's one elevated fastball. There's another elevated pitch for a long home run. And how about a hanging curveball for a base hit? This was probably the gift of the night. But, you know, 6 hits, I don't care how you get them. That is quite a night for George Springer. Thanks to be out last night, the average up to 292 after a 6-hit game.
Yeah. So here's Jose Altuve. Astros had a season high 16 runs and 20 hits last night. Altuve was 2 for 6. Shows bunt, takes the strike. Altuve at 322 now with a couple of home runs and 17 RBIs. Just out of the top 10 in batting average, but he'll get there, as he always seems to be, as Pinder goes down to a knee to make the catch. So 2 outs. One more note on George Springer. 6 hit games in Astros history. Joe Morgan did it, but he did it in 12 innings in 1965. Couple of home runs, a double. Springer did it in 9 innings. So it's the only time a Houston Astro has had a 6-hit game in 9 innings.
Well, the fact that he even got 6 at bats says a lot about what the Astros were doing hitting and how really poorly the A's pitching was in the night. Because the hitting, you come to play 6 times in a game, that's a lot. I mean, you're happy to get 4, a little 4 plus maybe throughout average on the course of the season.
Down the right field line, but foul.
Cap, I'm going to bring this up again, this straight up defense. I know you always like to see all those guys just exactly where Abner Doubleday put them 1,000 years ago. Look at that. That's pretty. Pinder slightly to right center, but other than that, just straight up. Says a lot about also Correa's ability to use the whole field.
And on an 0-2 pitch, hard slider down and in, and that is a strikeout for Correa and a 3-up, 3-down inning for Manaya. Lineup tonight: Simeon, Joyce, Lowry, Davis, Olson, Chapman, Pinder, Piscotti, and Maxwell.
And the spin rate curveball specialist then is Lance McCullers Jr. And he had an outstanding game against the Athletics in Houston on April the 28th. Had a perfect game through 5 innings. But a good curveball, good slider. Just a very, very good pitcher. 100 pitches in the game he pitched in a blowout. The A's losing the game against McCullers and the Astros.
First pitch inside to Marcus Simeon. 262 for Marcus with 3 home runs. He was 1 for 5 last night. The A's had a couple of runs on 8 hits. 4 of the 8 hits were doubles. Stride 2-1, 90 miles an hour.
You know, that's where it's very tempting on 2-0 to swing at a pitch, figure it's going to be a fastball. But I'd say for Marcus Simeon, just try to make McCullers work a little bit anyway.
Pop-up foul.
We can tell already 90, 92 miles an hour. Lance McCullers can typically work anywhere from 93 to 95. Might be pacing himself early on, but one thing to pay attention to here is pitch selection with Lance McCullers. Last time out, 41 fastballs, 41 curveballs, and a cutter. So the wrinkle far outweighing the usage, or I mean equaling the usage of the fastball, but realistically when you think about it, very tough to predict where Lance is going to come with what.
Breaking ball right now, and that's my prediction, 3-2. Fastball.
And it missed inside.
That's a little surprising because that's what he did start in Houston.
That's a good look right there at the pitch selection. 48% curveball, 40% fastball on the season. Sprinkle in a changeup out every now and then just to get the lefties off the fastball velocity. But you saw there on the fastball, the arm side run to Marcus Simeon. The grip on the 2-seamer is something he's been fiddling with a little bit, something he thinks he's found, he's figured out, and you see that ball just takes off.
So here's Matt Joyce. Well, it's the first thing you think of when you know McCullers is pitching is his breaking ball.
That's right, and maybe for Ryan McCann, his catcher, figured might as well challenge a leadoff hitter, not walk him, which he ultimately did anyway. But I'd say throughout the game, you're going to see a lot of curveballs, and how about that, using multiple signs without a runner at second. Seeing more and more of that.
Bregman in on the grass at third, and there's a strike. So here's an interesting note. Dallas, tell me what you think. As we're talking about this, 44% of all pitches that McCullers has thrown in his career have been curves. That's in his full career. last year, the average miles per hour of his career, of his curve, 85.3. This year, 87.2. Throwing the curveball a little harder. Does that mean anything?
I think what you can gather from that one, feeling pretty good. It's early in the season. I think that number will probably take a hit come June, July, as miles start to get tacked onto that arm. But I think what you have to deduce is the information that the Astros are receiving in terms of pitch design. They understand how they're creating and generating the speed, movement, velocity on these pitches, thanks to the technology that's a part of the game these days. And I actually sat down this afternoon, had a lengthy conversation with Justin Verlander about the information and how they're able to utilize this. And they really dive in, they buy into the info, and it's a constant work in progress.
Oh, it's working. Team ERA of 2.66. That is tops in the American League. And Joyce strikes out, tried to check his swing, could not do it. So one away. Defensively, this is what the Astros look like tonight. Gonzalez in left, Marisnik in center, Springer in right. Bregman, Correa, Altuve, and Gurriel on the infield. That's the regular infield for the Astros, and Brian McCann is your catcher.
The one thing everybody's going to talk about is the game that McCullers had against the Yankees when he threw all those breaking pitches. Bottom line, you'll ask most hitters, they'll say, I'm going to look fastball, and if they don't recognize the spin, they're going to swing at pitches out of the strike zone. And that's what the Yankees did, especially the big power hitters, because of the quickness.
That one pops away from McCann, so Simeon will go down to second base.
But if you throw the curve hard, or the slider hard, and the hitter does not get an time to adjust to it, and this breaking ball, McCann blocked a couple with Simeon at first, with Joyce at the plate. This time, though, no opportunity. There's your hard curveball, and boy, when it hits the ground, it really spins up fast.
Lowry trying to add to his major league leading RBI total of 31. Well, tonight, any 95-mile-per-hour fastball is our fast pitch, brought to you by Xfinity, the fastest Wi-Fi at home and on the go. On deck is Chris Davis. A's threatening here in the bottom of the first inning after the Astros went 3 up, 3 down inning in the top of the first. Inside with a fastball, that one at 94 miles an hour, so he's
look where Marwin Gonzalez is playing. This is unbelievable where he is playing Jed Lowry. They are shifting him almost like he's a right-handed pull hitter. I mean, that is extreme, because Jed, I mean, it kind of says that McCullers may not be throwing anything inside where Jed could pull it down the right field line because there's nobody there. And one of the things that we've always talked about, if you're going to shift somebody that drastically, you better be able to pitch to it. And it seems like that's what McCullers is doing.
There's the great numbers for Lowry, 345.
Jed should not get anything soft that he could pull, the way they're shading him to left field.
If we talk about Lanson having the ability to be able to back foot the lefties with the breaking ball here, probably more of a backdoor opportunity.
Yeah. Infield kind of straight up, but boy, the extreme in the outfield towards left field is really unbelievable.
Inside, and now it's 3-2. 359 is the average with runners in scoring position for Lowry. It's one way to get to lead the major leagues in RBIs.
For a second baseman, that's something that is great for Jed. There's a shift in the outfield with Marisnik and Gonzalez center and left.
And that one is driven to right field. Springer gets back, sets up. Springer gets it back in quickly, but Simeon hustled back to tag up. He gets to third.
I think that McCullers does also with his ability to use all the pitches, especially the percentage of curveballs rather than fastballs. It affects the hitter. It's hard to look. Fastball 3-2, and Jed had a good swing, but you see guys load up a little bit extra on 3-2 if they have a pretty good idea that the pitcher is going to throw a fastball, and still think he should look that way and make an adjustment. But McCullers is the exception to the rule with his ability to throw slider and curveball anytime.
First pitch to Chris Davis, fastball outside. That one gets to 95 from McCullers.
And I think that's something we'll see as traffic starts to accumulate, runners in scoring position, they start messing around, tap into that velocity, margin for error goes up.
So 2-0 now.
April 15th right here, and Houston won the game, but Chris Davis, there's a breaking ball right center field. There's his 6th home run of the season with a salute. But you know the one thing, remember he threw a curveball that spiked Brian McCann, which makes you kind of think, is he going to throw a curveball? I throw a slider, which is a little bit different pitch, fastball. But you have to wonder, his specialty, the good curveball, would he throw it and throw it hard with the runner at third base? And there's sometimes pitchers kind of shy away from throwing one of their better pitches if there's a chance of being a wild pitch. Helps the hitter to think about that.
That one pops away from McCann. Simeon's going to try to score, and he will. So 1-0. Athletics take the lead here in the first.
That is great aggressive base running by Marcus Semien. And Brian McCann, it's just one of those nights already in the first inning he's trying to establish, but there it is. And Brian McCann hits off the glove, tries to get the right hand involved. Really not technique where you'd like to see a block attempt. But great hustle, great secondary lead by Marcus Semien, able to get in feet first.
Right field, Springer going back, and that's going to be over his head. Hits it on the big hop. Chris Davis digging for second. He's got a sliding double.
One of the things you might say with Chris Davis at the plate, why would you take a chance? Well, you take a chance with 2 outs, especially with a wild pitch, and Marcus Semien with the speed, take this double with 2 outs to get another runner in scoring position. It's good hitting.
So double number 8 for Davis, and here's Matt Olson. Matt Olson at 248 with 4 home runs, 14 RBIs. Olson last night 0 for 4 with a couple of strikeouts. It's now 0-2.
See Semien coming here at home, hits the deck a little early, tucks himself, a little self-preservation, I think McCann and Semien both anticipated McCullers to be around the plate a little more than he was.
Springer over to his right, he makes the catch. A's get a run on the wild pitch. 1-0 Athletics after 1. Teacher Program, recognizing teachers that make a difference. Visit NBCSportsCalifornia.com to cast your vote. The winner receives $20,000 for his or her school. Summer's not too far behind. Kids getting a little restless in school.
Speaking from experience.
Gurriel, Bregman, and Gonzalez here in the second inning. Manaea with an early 1-0 lead.
Really like that pitch count already for Sean Manaea in the first inning. We have talked about his starts in which he's getting some sort of result. Dallas, I know you talked about the 3 pitches last night with Keuchel, but for Sean Manaea, 4 pitches for him has resulted in a lot of success in his early season.
The idea is you want to keep yourself unpredictable. And I think for Sean Manaea, especially against this aggressive lineup, as you see there with the changeup, the more you can establish your ability to throw the off speed for strikes early in the count and early in the game, you tend to put the aggressiveness on hold of this team, and they sort of have to wait you out through the at-bat.
Gurriel takes outside.
The one thing about Sean Manaea, to think that an organization would not allow him to throw a changeup, which has turned out to be one of his better pitches since joining the club, and especially pitching the no-hitter and then backing up with 7 innings. 1 unearned run against this Astros team in Houston.
Nice pick by Lowry. Spins around, throws to first. Heck of a play by Jed Lowry at second base. Here's our Lowe's whole team together. We're going to go back to that April 21st no-hitter. Why not? Out distribution in the no-hitter, 10 strikeouts, 9 groundouts, 8 flyouts. He followed that up with a good start against these Astros in Houston. 7 innings, 1 unearned run. And then his last start, he took the loss, went 6 innings up in Seattle. He's lost that game 4-1.
Yeah, it's hard for me to believe a left-handed pitcher comes out of the womb without being able to throw a changeup. I couldn't imagine getting to pro ball not having that as a weapon.
But how would you like to have one and you sign with an organization and then supposedly
take it away?
Yeah, the Royals said don't use it, and I'm thinking, wow. I mean, Dallas, I think you proved in your last start against the Tigers, you just threw nothing but changeups, fastballs, changeups, and look at the success you had.
Yeah, I mean, it can be done. It's not something you want to go out there with.
But if you have to.
Absolutely.
And we saw Jarrell Cotton do the same thing last year.
Bregman drives one right field. It's hit pretty well, and it is gone. Right on top of that ledge in the out-of-town scoreboard. And Bregman has homered to tie up this game at 1. That ledge up there, rates maybe, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 feet wide, and it dropped right on top of that.
Batting in the 6th position.
2-0, pitch away, elevated. We saw a lot of those last night. And remember, Bregman had a tough time early part of the game last night with a couple of errors, and then all of a sudden he came alive swinging the bat. It continues tonight in his first one.
So that's the 6th home run that Manaea has allowed this year in 51 innings.
That's something you see at the at Minute Maid Park. Right-handers do go to right field quite regularly, but Bregman showing his power to the opposite field.
Nice play by Chapman. He charged it, and he had to handle that in between hop, and he took care of it and throws out Gonzalez. So that's the second out. Well, we're talking about the no-hitter by Manaea. We had another no-hitter tonight. It was James Paxton in Toronto. How about that, Ray? James Paxton's from Canada.
That's right.
And he throws a no-hitter in Toronto.
Well, tell you what, saw Paxton against the A's striking out 16, and to do it in Canada, that's special, especially a lot of A's.
That's the first thing I thought of. It's like, we just watched him strike out 16 in 7 innings. I'm not surprised he threw a no-hitter at all.
No, he's got the stuff, the peripheral stuff, the heater, no doubt about it. Shout out to Canada. Things will get better up there in Toronto. You know, LeBron James has had his way with those Raptors, and then the big Maple comes into town and no hits him. It's a tough go.
He threw 99 pitches, 3 walks, 7 strikeouts. So Not a very high pitch count. Time of game was 2 hours and 19 minutes.
Well, Sean's was 2:12, wasn't it? So that's what happens when you pitch a no-no. It goes fast.
6th no-hitter in Mariners franchise history. 5-0 was the final score. So big congratulations out to James Paxton, the left-hander.
Well, you mentioned the number of pitches. I think we were surprised at 105. He's out of the game in Seattle.
That's right.
16 strikeouts, 105 pitches, and the A's said, "Thank you."
Yeah,
and
he's won the game.
That's right. Won it 3-2, a couple of home runs. And Mark Canna confirmed with us post-game that, yeah, it was great to get him out of there because he was blowing fastballs. I think tonight I read that his last pitch was thrown at 99 miles per hour.
Well, yeah, he was just the last inning. I saw the last. He was just pumping it in there at 98, 99 miles an hour. No hitters on foreign soil. Stu did it.
Yep.
Of course, that was in 1990. See some of the other ones. Verlander in Toronto. And earlier this week or last week, Dodgers Padres in Monterrey, Mexico. That's a group effort.
Combined.
So 3 no-hitters so far in 2017. It's only May.
But it's unbelievable, as we mentioned last night, about, well, through 5 innings, through 6 innings, and, you know, there's so many of them. Usually the hitters start to catch up about this time.
Chapman grabs it, and that'll do it. But Bregman with the home run. It was his 3rd of the year. This game is tied at 1.
RBI Baseball 18 delivers an all-new franchise mode and much more. RBI Baseball 18 is available right now. You can learn more at RBIGame.com. Rated E for everyone. Even Ricky Henderson, number 24.
So bottom of the 2nd, Astros 1, A's 1.
It's a nice A's cap with the Warriors touch.
Warriors playing right next door. They're getting about ready to tip off. Trying to wrap up their series against the Pelicans. So Chapman, Pinder, and Piscotty here in the bottom of the 2nd inning. Chapman had 228, 6 home runs. Bounces this one to Bregman, who cuts in front of Correa, throws across the diamond, 1 out. Lance McCullers 12 for 14 in shutout inning possibilities this year, so that's well above the American League average.
So important, not only for the starting pitcher, but for the offense. Get those guys back in, get them comfortable, get them back in that attack mindset.
Here's Pinder. Pinder chops one. Off the mound is McCullers, and that's the second out.
You have to wonder what Brent Strom and A.J. Hinch are thinking about as McCullers took 25 pitches in the first inning to get loose.
Batting in the eighth position, right fielder, number 25, Steven Piscotty.
So with 2 outs, Piscotty steps in with, I'm sure, a very heavy heart. It's a nice ovation from the fans here. This could not be an easy night for him. So McCullers to face Piscotty. And the first pitch is hit high and foul down the right field line. Piscotty at 243, couple of home runs. He's got 13 RBIs. From what we heard last night, at least, Ray, he was going to play tonight and tomorrow. And he lines one to right center field, and he's got himself a base hit.
Batting in the ninth position, the catcher, number 13.
He's hanging in there.
Bruce Maxwell.
So that is the second hit in the ball game for the A's. And that'll bring up Maxwell.
And let Bruce hit the ball that he hit last night to left center. See if Piscotty with 2 outs can score. And that would be a nice run around the bases.
Maxwell takes a strike, hitting 188 with 3 RBIs. 6 hits and 32 at bats for Maxwell. He does have 3 doubles. 4 miles an hour as McCullers took a little long.
Talked about the usage of pitches for Lance McCullers. 48% on the breaker, 40% on the heater as far as 2018 goes. He does a good job of getting in the zone early with off speed, attacking late with the fastball, backwards approach.
And gets the outside corner there.
But it just seems like if this is any indication, we saw it with Jed Lowry, we've seen it again now with Bruce Maxwell. Left-handers are going to be played extremely to left field. The shift, and this is all analytics and something the Astros probably top of the list when it comes to that.
And a 95-mile-an-hour fastball. Maxwell strikes out. A's get a hit and a runner left, and we're through 2 in Oakland. 1-1 game.
4-person suite. It's all-inclusive high-end food and drink. You get plus parking on top of it. You can take the field with a pregame. Always a great treat for the group. Scoreboard message and 24 hats for your group. Visit athletics.com for more information. So Eric Farrell last night does the authentication program for the Athletics, and all the caps that we saw with the GP and for Gretchen Piscotti, those auctioned for the ALS Foundation and finding the cure for that. So that was very well received last night with the players wearing the caps with the initials on them.
McCann, Marisnik, and Springer here in the top of the third. Bregman a home run in the second. That's the only run in the game for the Astros. McCann loops one down the left field line.
Now, last night we saw a pitcher, Brett Anderson, on the mound for the Athletics, and for the Astros, Brian McCann did not start. Josh Reddick did. I thought A.J. Hinch brought up a very good point, the manager of the Astros. He said he has told all his left-handers that you cannot not face left-handed pitching, because ultimately when it comes down to postseason, said if we're going to play you and we're facing lefties, you got to know what it's like. And so really it kind of takes away from the total platoon, because he could catch Stassi again tonight and then McCann tomorrow afternoon. But I think that's a great point, because
that's Marcus Simeon. He's got time. McCann does not run real well.
The guy that stands out to me with Wakefield, with Jason Varitek. Never caught him regular season. Get to postseason, they wanted his bat in the lineup, but he never caught him. And all of a sudden, it's a very difficult thing.
Kind of asking for trouble.
Exactly. So I just think it's a good point. We talk about the Kansas City Royals when it was Hosmer, Gordon, and Mustakas. They played against everybody, lefties or righties. But the platoons are great. But if you get down to crunch time, playing especially in October, you want the guys that you feel are going to contribute the most.
Marisnik bunts it, and it's foul as it was bunted kind of in the air. Olsen came in hoping to maybe catch it on the fly. Could not quite get to it. So 0-1 to Jake Marisnik, the 9th place hitter.
Glad he took his cap off, because never saw that look.
Yes, indeed.
Because you see a dark beard and dark sides, and then all of a sudden you see the rest of the hair.
This game's stressful, Foss. You can go gray in between innings.
Saw Bob Boone doing it from one end of the season to the next. I said, "What'd you do?" And he said, "I stopped coloring it," and it turned white. I said, "That's stressful in the off season, but it just changed a little bit." Yeah, it can happen in between innings. That is stressful.
That's right. If you color your hair and people look at it and they go, "Oh, he colors his hair," then you're defeating the purpose, right, Dallas? I mean,
that's right.
Not in this day and age.
No,
we're making fashion statements.
Now that's different color, though. I mean, that's adding. You know, it'd be interesting as he gets older and when it starts to naturally do it.
The second strikeout for Manaea.
Sean Manaea starting to gain control here. He's missed his arm side with the fastball. They wanted this thing in, trying to tie up Marisnik with the heater. Fortunately enough, he was able to get away with the mistake. The fastball outside.
Pitchcast brought to you by SoFi, a modern finance company. Top of the order in Springer. Change up in first strike. Springer hit a fly ball to right field in the first.
Yeah, that's a good pitch, because at times you can say, well, he's not throwing it against a fastball, so the difference velocity. But if a hitter is sitting dead red first pitch, as Springer hits a lot of home runs that way, changeup is a good pitch.
Well, and it's a good pitch, especially against a guy in George Springer who's aggressive on the first pitch no matter what. Righty, lefty, doesn't matter. He's aggressive early in the count. So you throw something with a reduced amount of speed on it, same arm speed. And if you can get that in the zone, you put him on the defensive.
Springer loops one to left, and it's going to fall in front of Joyce. Second hit. Check this out. Chase percentage on outside fastballs by season. Significantly up this year. We're not surprised that it's up. I mean, he's having a great year, but chase percentage outside fastballs. What do you think, Ray?
I think a lot of it has to do with he pitches in so well, because
opens up outside.
It does, because when he in those first 2 years, it was low, because I thought there were times that maybe he guided a little bit too much that weren't strikes, but now he's following through like he does with a fastball and slider inside. He's doing the same outside of the right-handers.
All right, Dallas, what do you think?
I concur wholeheartedly, and it's the maintenance of the arm speed as well. If you can pitch inside and throw strikes inside, it opens up that plate 17 inches wide, makes it about 19, 20. And when you've got good arm side run like Manaea has, and you throw that pitch outside, guys start to see it outside. They want to chase it, but the velocity just isn't there, and you start to get swing and misses. And now you come back with that firm fastball away, and they're just not on time.
I think one of the amazing things, and I know Tommy adds some good shots in the slow motion with the grip of the baseball. It almost looks like all the pitches are change-ups, because he's wrapping his hand around it. You're hardly seeing the two-seam or a four-seam fastball in the grips, but it seems like that he's wrapping everything, the entire hand around it.
All adds up to this lowest OPS on outside fastballs. That's not average. That's OPS. On base and slugging combined. Runner goes. Maxwell's throw. Got him. So Springer called out. Good throw by Maxwell. We'll see if the Astros want to check it.
He's out.
I think he's out. So good throw by Bruce Maxwell, and that is how the top of the third comes to an end. Bottom of the third coming up. A's will have the top of their order. It's a 1-1 game. Marcus Semien to lead it off. First pitch snaps in there for a strike. Semien, Joyce, and Lowry 1-1 game here in the bottom of the third. Manaea and McCullers, good pitching matchup. Marcus Semien walked in the first, went to second on a wild pitch, went to third on a fly ball to right field, and scored on a wild pitch. Up the middle. Altuve charges. Quick throw. His throw is wide. Semien's aboard.
Good job by Semien to stay in the fight here. Kept his hands back. Might have been a little out in front. Altuve coming across. Tries to make the throw on the run. Momentum carrying him to the third base side of the field. Brings Gurriel off the bag. Semien with a nice hard 90 down the line, forcing the action.
Like the grip from Altuve was a changeup grip. He didn't get much on in the throw and trying to hurry. And Gurriel made a good play coming off the bag. You got to realize if you don't have a chance, don't allow another 90 feet, and at least keeps the double play in order from their standpoint.
So here's Matt Joyce. Exmo brought to you by Cache Creek Casino Resort. Check out the shift on Joyce. Joyce struck out in the first inning. See Matt Joyce get going. He struggled some. Remember last year, Joyce hit 25 home runs last year.
Career best, you're right.
And he also got off to a slow start last year.
But talk about grinding. He will grind every at bat. I mean, he's into it. He's not giving anything up away.
Way inside. Now it's 3-0.
Well, just overthrew it a little bit, tried to bring the two-seamer back, but it didn't do anything except run. And almost hit Matt Joyce. We talked about the predictability of a 3-0 pitch, but the fastball, I don't know if McCullers would be that guy that you could say, okay, he's going to throw me a 3-0 fastball. I think he's going to, but control right now is not exceptional for him.
And he misses low, and it's a walk. First and second, nobody out.
See, Brett Strom and A.J. Hinch, I started to mention earlier, because of the 25 pitches, Brian McCann getting permission to go to the mound to visit with the pitcher. But
Now batting second baseman.
the one thing about the pitch count, maybe it takes, in the case of McCullers, 25 pitches to start to feel good. Well, if you do the math, fifth inning, he may be gone as far as the pitch count's concerned. And I strongly believe that at times you should say just, hey, watch me. I'll tell you if I'm tired or not. Don't look at the pitch count. But unfortunately, as we saw with James Paxton, and happy for him to pitch the no-hitter, happy for him to stay under 100 pitches and get the opportunity tonight.
Lowry rolls it foul. Off speed pitch from McCullers. Lowry hit a fly ball to right field in the first.
I talked to Jonathan Lucroy last night, the wild pitch from Brett Anderson. I said, was it a cross-up? And he said, yeah. But, you know, normally when there's a cross-up, you see the catcher go out and talk to the pitcher. But because now of the limited mound visits, you don't see it as much. But I thought he brought up a good point. He says he'll use the 3 for a slider. But he says sometimes when he gives the sign, he kind of turns his hand. It looks like 2. And he felt that's what happened last night. But, you know, he called one pitch, but maybe Brett Anderson's on another one. But it was a cross-up.
That's funny you mentioned that. I got a great story about Jason Kendall. He was a guy who obviously he was responsible for calling me up to the big leagues. Tremendous backstop, but he used to fidget with his hands before he put the sign down. And I eventually just decided, you know what, I'm going to stand here until he gets into the squat. And then I'll know he's ready, because I'm not shaking Kendall off. So let me just make sure he's ready, because I ain't crossing that guy up either. I'm going to wait out. I'm going to be patient. We'll be on the same page. So tough for me to get used to early on, but I quickly realized I'm going to let this vet steer the ship.
You know, I'm surprised to see more and more catchers calling multiple signs with nobody at second base.
Seems like happens a
yeah,
lot.
it's kind of unheard of, because it's always runner at second. You go through multiple signs, but now there's so much concern about, is somebody in the scoreboard, is somebody, you know, relaying the pitches, because if there's no runner at second, the runner can't do it. So the technology, there's got to be some thought that you can get a little bit lax. And obviously with the runner at second, you're going to do it, which McCann will do it now. But he's been doing it this game without a runner at second.
So 3-1 to Lowry. Here's the pitch, and off the foot of Lowry. So full count.
He's going to wear this one right on the inside part of the foot here. Oh, that's off the
back knee. Wow.
That's off the knee.
The back knee.
Yeah,
too.
that back left knee on the outside part.
And you think about how guys will use the protection, and a lot of times they'll take a look at Jed's right leg, because the pant leg sometimes is over the protection, and he lifts it up and takes it off. But you never, rarely ever will protect the back leg. and you just don't figure that you're going to foul the ball off your back foot or back leg. But in this case, Jed's left knee got it.
So 3-2. Runners stay put, and it's bounced foul again, and it may have hit Jed again.
Yeah, he has the protection over his right. And he just lifted his pant leg, saying it's underneath. You can see the extension, but right over the top. This time a little protection. See if it hit that. It did. Still, it's not that. I mean, it does protect it, but that ball going down maybe 100 miles an hour off your shin guard, you're going to feel it. As he grimaced to indicate that he did feel it. But there's the extension, so it's underneath his pant leg instead of over the top.
That one's hit hard, but it's just foul.
And guys, just to put a bow on the thought of sign usage and why guys might be going to multiple signs with a runner only on first, nobody to pick it up at second. Talking to a couple catchers, it's to keep the pitchers in the game, to keep that thought process moving along. You mentioned it, Boss, you don't want them to get lackadaisical back there. You're out there on the mound. You want those wheels constantly turning. So it's just another effort to keep these guys locked in.
I wouldn't do it because I wouldn't want them to cross me up.
At least you could go out there and get it straightened out. You can't do that anymore. Pitch number 50 coming up for Lance McCullers. Runner stay put, and the pitch is inside. He walked it. Base is loaded, nobody out.
That's a great at bat. When you foul a ball off your knee, you hurt. And to be able to extend the way Jed Lowry did to draw the walk and the off-speed pitch, Brent Strom to the bullpen, probably looking and saying a lot of pitches, maybe the control is not where we've seen in the past. And they will get somebody quickly, and it may be one of the opportunities for the Athletics right now with the bases loaded, nobody out. KD up.
Simeon at third, Joyce at second, Lowry at first. So here is Chris Davis. Colors, kicks and fires, and the pitch is low.
Looks like it's going to be Colin McHugh up and cranking for the Astros.
Not a bad starter to come out of the bullpen.
That's right. They got a couple of those guys. McHugh, Peacock down there.
Remember last year in the World Series, A.J. Hinch was never reluctant to go to the bullpen and bring in a starter. And now he does have a couple down there in Peacock and McHugh.
Chris Davis drives in the right field. Springer going back. Springer still going back. He reaches up and he caught it. Coming in to score is Simeon. Joyce is going to hustle for third, and he's going to make it.
What a catch by George Springer. Yeah. Acrobatic, and not only that, to be able to, in the same momentum going back towards the warning track, to turn around and throw. KD got it over his head his first at bat this time, though. Watch Springer not only catch it, watch how quickly he releases the ball, gets the ball back in, knowing there's going to be guys tagging. And just to get it back in and let the infielders continue at that point, they almost got Joyce because Matt had gone halfway, went back to second. And, you know, the old rule of thumb, nobody out, you tag, one out, you go halfway. But George Springer, outstanding play to get the ball back in quickly.
So Davis gets his 31st RBI to give the A's the 2-1 lead. And here's Olsen, first and third. Ball in. 2 walks, 2 strikeouts so far for McCullers, but clearly not sharp with his command.
And to throw as many pitches as he has already, and you mentioned 25 in the first inning, got him just 10 in the second, but a lot more in this inning, walking a couple of batters.
Missed again. 2-0.
You see that's 88 miles an hour. That first pitch, I think, was a breaking ball down and in against Olsen, and that there, another off-speed pitch, and it's an inability to throw strikes early and command the off-speed that's got McCullers in hot water.
Gets the call there, 87 miles an hour.
I would think Dallas, from a pitcher standpoint, to hear the pop of the mitt in the bullpen in the third inning. That doesn't sit well, I wouldn't think.
No, especially in this yard when you can see him get up. And
exactly.
That's not any fun.
I mean, he's got his back, but he could hear the popping.
That one ran in on Olsen, 2-2.
So I would think then, I guess maybe to stay in the game, you hear the popping and you see the guy warm up the bullpen. That's great incentive. Just
better get somebody out.
That's right.
See there, they continue to chase Olsen in with those breaking balls. Work in underneath the hands. Hasn't seen a straight one yet from McCullers.
2-2 pitch inside. 3-2. On deck is Chapman.
Hey, learned from Dallas Keuchel last night.
That's
moving
right.
around.
Yes, they won. Those 2 road starts, McCuller has been good. Ball's chopped to Altuve. He spins, fires to second for one, on to first. Got it.
Unbelievable. That's the strong arm of Correa. It's shortstop to turn an unbelievable double play.
So the A's get one and take a 2-1 lead.
Going to take a look at this double play here from Jose Altuve onto Correa, the strong throw. Altuve did a great job of positioning himself to make that turn.
Altuve drives one to left, but room for Joyce. Yeah, that was as good of a double play as you're going to see without somebody diving in the hole or something like that.
Well, you watch the arm strength of Correa at shortstop. I mean, first of all, great throw by Altuve to get to him, but he knew you're going to have to turn a double play. Watch Correa finish. He just unloaded. And I don't know if StatCast on the velocity from shortstop to first base, but that had to be very, very hard. And Matt Olson figuring where he hit it, hit from the left side, at least get down to avoid the double play and drive in a run. Did not get it done thanks to an outstanding DP. And Cap, we talked about the defense. There it is right there.
No question. That's I mean, just where you're at in the game score. I mean, that is a huge play.
You could probably say in most instances the Astros are trailing 3-1 with a runner at first base and 2 outs. But thanks to a great double play, and they were playing for 2, and you can understand why with the combination. But I mean, it's like Springer catching the ball, throwing it back in with his back pedaling towards the wall. Well, Altuve caught the ball and fired a bullet to second base.
Drive toward right center for a hit. Pinder gets over there to cut it off. Carlos Correa with a base hit.
As we go back to that double play we're talking about here, see the shift on display here, right into the teeth of it, and it's a strong overhand delivery from Carlos Correa. That's been a topic of conversation since he got to the league. Is his arm angle? Is he going to be able to maintain the arm strength over the course of his career. You see a lot of middle infielders start to drop down, use a little bit of a side sling approach. And I think that actually played a part in why Correa was able to make such a strong throw. It stayed true, it stayed linear.
Olsen grabs it, but that, if you look at that play, that is a very unconventional turn for Correa. I mean, he's got to go to the bag.
Yeah, see where he's playing.
Yeah,
He's playing as a second
This
baseman.
is not a normal double play.
Right. But Altuve planning to make the 360 catch really and turn at the same time and fire a bullet to second base. And that's just the confidence this team has with their defense. And yeah, they're a good offensive team, good pitching, but the defense is spectacular. You know, that's also that strong arm helps him in the hole to go over the top and make the strong throw. Just an exceptional player.
2 outs for Bregman. Bregman takes low. A home run for Bregman in the second inning. He went to right field. Dropped it right on that porch.
That's why I see a home run like that. If you get late in the game, I always say pitch him away and tip your hat. If he goes the other way, well, you're tipping your hat a lot because players now can go oppo without any problem.
Right on the outside corner is Doug Eddings. Says, I think that was a strike. Bregman last year, in his first full year in the big leagues, hit 19 home runs. Knocked in 71. He had 39 doubles. Pretty good opening act for Alex Bregman. 284 average in 155 games. High fastball swing and a miss. So Manaea strikes out Bregman. Correa is stranded, and we're going to head to the bottom of the fourth. A's 2, Astros 1, bottom of the fourth inning. It's a good night for those youngsters. They got good seats. Good seats. Chapman hits it hard, but it's a break. So Matt Chapman is retired for the second time by Bregman. 1 out here in the bottom of the fourth. That'll bring up Chad
Now batting
Hinder.
center fielder, number 18, Chad Hinder.
See where Matt Harvey got traded today, Ray. He went to the Cincinnati Reds. Wow. So he'll try to get his career back on track. He was traded for Devin Meserosco, who's a catcher, who's at one time was one of the better young players in the National League. He was an all-star, but then he been injured like 3 years in a row and signed a multi-year contract. And this year, Meserosco has a salary of just a little over $13 million, believe it or not. Matt Harvey is about $5.5 million. So the money, some money that went from obviously the Reds to the Mets to cover Meserosco's contract, and it usually comes out to be about the same.
You know, that doesn't sound right with a small market team giving money to a big market team.
Yeah, that's true. That's you're right.
But I mean, that is. I thought Harvey was making more than that, to be honest.
Yeah, so did I. So see what Matt Harvey does. The Reds have said he's a starter. He's going to be a starter.
Well, you mentioned Meserosco. I remember talking to Derek Norris. They both tried out for the Reds, and remember the park there, that second deck. Meserosco hit one way up there.
Yeah, he's a big, strong kid.
Oh.
Altuve flips it, and they're saying Gurriel was off the bag.
Wow.
Pinder hustling down the line. That was kind of an odd play. I'm not sure what Altuve was doing.
Well, I'm not either, to be honest, because he had plenty of time and said, just throw. Whoa. Oh, you know what he's saying? He's off the bag. And Marty Foster, as Gurriel came down, his foot did, if his foot had hit the bag, he would have been out. But it looks like when he came down, according to Marty Foster, who had the best look, said he missed it. But are you going to take a look at it?
See, watch that right foot.
Did it? They're saying no. You know what? If I were A.J. Hinch, I said, I'm not even going to look at it. That's on you. I mean, you go, Glover. But that's great hustle by Chad Pinder. But an unbelievable throw. He just turned a most unbelievable double play last inning, and he flips the ball over and pulls Gurriel. He's lucky he's able to catch the ball.
So it is an error. That's the 13th error of the year for the Houston Astros. That's a very low amount.
And typically you'll see infielders, especially second basemen, start to gain ground as they head over to first base. Let that first baseman get comfortable, let him get set over there, and Altuve just kind of let it go a little early.
Piscotty hits it hard right to Correa. Out at second, and that's a double play, and Altuve put a little extra on that one. He got about 92 miles an hour on that throw to first base. It is a double play.
For an Oakland A's game night at Plank in Jack London Square. It's a nice place. All proceeds going to the Oakland A's Community Fund. Unlimited games, drinks, and food are included in your $100 entry fee. And you must be 21 or over. Thursday, May the 24th. That's from 5:30 to 8:30 p.m. Go to athletics.com/game night. That's one of the venues where they have the Fan Fest down at Jack London Square. Blank. Nice little establishment.
It's Nurse Appreciation Night. Those young ladies are going to enjoy the game and be appreciated. See? Awesome.
So that means the A's training staff can take a night off, right? Because they've got a whole bunch of people in the stands to take care of anything that happens on the field. Can you just see them running down? If something happens, and they start running down en masse on the field. Kind of like Peggy Lindsay when Dallas pitched his perfect game, which is the anniversary tomorrow, by the way.
That's right.
Yeah, she's already trying to find a space up here on the dugout.
Well, at least we know we'll be getting some pastry. That's always nice, you know. I'm planning on it.
Listen, I said
I
that
cleared my deck for some pastries.
Those chocolate eclairs, I mean, the best. And
don't mean to put any pressure on your grandmother. Olsen digs it out. Nice play. And that's out number 1.
Dr. Stomper. Jeez, Stomper.
Evan.
I think he's got it on wrong.
What a surprise.
Yeah, well, I don't think that fit on his ears.
That's right. You know what? Give me the great Elliot Schwartz, right? He'll take it.
Of course. He's got a doubleheader tonight.
Yes, he does.
Indoors and outdoors.
The great
for
Elliot
Dr.
Schwartz.
Schwartz.
Want to know the count to Evan Gaddis.
Manaea's pitching out of the windup, but man, the impressive thing about Manaea out of the stretch is how he is able to throw as hard as he does with the slide step. Usually slide steps reduce a little bit of velocity. But when he struck out Bregman last inning, he just blew him away with the slide step with Correa at first.
Gaddis, a line out in his first at bat. A little bit inside.
Just can't picture this man having 11 triples with no stolen bases, huh? A couple of years ago, 11 triples for big Evan Gaddis with not one stolen base. And the all-time great outfielder, base stealer, and Gary Pettis, his third base coach. Didn't teach him a thing.
I think he knows what he's working with,
That's
boss.
right. Man could play. Gary Pettis.
There's a strike. Some outs, 3 and 2.
Gary may be spending more time in the Bay Area
Yes,
this
he will
upcoming
be.
offseason.
Absolutely.
He's a good man. And I tell you, the Astros are very fortunate to get him from the Texas Rangers. Remember, he was at first, moved over to third, and then Rangers took a little bit too long, and the Astros grabbed him.
Nice big hop for Chapman. He'll show off that arm. So there's out number 2. Let's check out Gary Pettis as a player. Now keep in mind, this is Dad. This is Dad. Look at him. Yeah.
Foot race.
What a great play.
That's great. No, he could do it all. He could do it all. And I tell you, his aggressiveness at third base, I mean, you just watched him running all over the field, stealing bases and playing in the outfield with the gold gloves. But you think about his aggressiveness at third base really helped the Astros last year in postseason. Matter of fact, the Astros players were giving him credit for his aggressiveness coaching third base.
0-1 the count to Brian McCann. And Gary's son, Dante, was the 44th player taken in the NFL draft. And there he is. He's a wide receiver from the University of Washington. And the 49ers said, we want this guy. How cool is that?
Number 6.
Watching your kid do that. And now he's going to be watching him in the NFL. Very high draft pick for the Niners.
He set a record for 9 touchdown returns on what, kickoffs? Wow. Yeah, proud daddy. And we were in Houston when his son was drafted, and Gary said, I'll be in there till game time watching the draft.
And his son was picked at like 6:58 and the game started at 7 o'clock.
Well, Gary has Bay Area roots. which a lot of great athletes came out of this area.
1-1 to Jake Marisnik. Been a struggle season for Marisnik. He's trying to figure out what the heck am I doing wrong.
Well, we were down in Houston. He was talking about how just a little league play helped him get back on track, but it is tough, and he's a great center fielder.
He has 38 strikeouts in 74 at bats. Struck out swinging in the third. 1 of 3 strikeouts for Sean Manaea.
You go upstairs with a fastball as he did with Bregman, or take the hard slider back foot. I mean, he's got a lot of options, he being Sean Manaea, and how he approaches these hitters. And Dallas's point about the changeup, just adding that softness.
That one's ripped toward the gap. Matt Joyce is not going to be able to cut it off. McCann does not run well. He's going to head to third, and he'll stop there.
And the A's are fortunate it was McCann.
So Marisnik with a double, second and third, 2 outs.
Well, they tried to go inside. Look where this pitch is, though. Just outside part of the plate. That was your point about going inside when you're trying and leave it outside. It's amazing if you try to pitch outside, it's a different type of a pitch, and the aggressiveness on it. That's a lot of catching with those legs.
Yep.
Well, the A's are fortunate if they can get Springer out, because that normally would be a run for 2 outs and the hitter on the move. McCann just barely nicked by the fastball in on him. And with the double, now second and third.
Springer hits one in the air pretty well left center field. Joyce is not going to get it. It bangs off the wall. 2 runs are going to score, and Springer's done it again. A 2-run double with 2 outs to give the Astros a 3-2 lead.
And it all started with 2 outs, with the just easy ground ball outs.
2 outs, a couple of mislocations, one on the fastball. This here looked like a changeup. Springer does a good job of staying back here. Joyce tracking, thought he might have had a shot at it. Turns, looks off the wall. You see Springer just does a great job of staying balanced. Good on the backside. Thought he might have got it. Ends up at second base, but the damage done.
So what you're telling me, Dallas, is he's swinging at a first pitch changeup.
Yep.
He's got to be locked in to be doing that.
Well, he took the first pitch change up his previous at bat. Maybe he's thinking about it, or maybe just not the true velocity decrease from the fastball. But it's all about location, and the pitch to Marisnik, tried to go inside with McCann, hit him, grazed him, and then Marisnik missed the pitch.
Drive to right center. Can Piscotty get there? Yes, he can. What a play by Stephen Piscotty, and it saved a run. So Springer with a 2-run double to give the Astros the lead. Could have been worse. Heck of a play by Piscotty. So the Astros grab the lead 3-2, bottom of the 5th inning. And McCullers pitching with the lead for the first time. He'll face Maxwell, Simeon, and Joyce. He's come into tonight's game with an 18-17 record. 3.5 games behind the first place Los Angeles Angels. Astros a half game back. All that is coming into tonight. The good news is the A's are 11-7 at home, which is a pretty good number. The bad news is they're 9-15 against the AL West, so that has to get better. One and one the count to Maxwell.
We didn't get off to the greatest start against Anaheim early to open up the series. Took game 1 of opening day, and 3 fell shortly after.
Yeah, the Angels, on the other hand, are 12-4 within the division. It's usually a big deal.
Well, especially when you're playing with 78 times over the course of a season within your division. Between 1-run wins or losses, whatever that record might be, and especially within your division, the way baseball is set up now.
1-2 pitch is hit foul, headed toward the A's dugout. Ricochets off the sidewall and rolls all the way down the left field line. A's with 3 hits in the game, the Astros with 5. That one's belted to center. Marisnik's back. He's not going to get it. It's over his head. Marisnik plays it quickly off the wall, gets it in, and Maxwell has a double.
Maxwell sends a rocket out to center. We're going to take a gander at this catch by Stephen Piscotty. 59% catch probability, almost a coin flip. 25.9 feet per second, tracking all the way to the track, to the wall, leaps and makes the snag. Manaea very appreciative, saying, all right, I'll get it down. You just keep chasing them down out there.
Well, 2 pitches, Springer and Altuve both hit very hard, one resulting in 2 runs. Fortunately, Piscotty saved a run.
Marcus Simeon shows bunt, and a pitch is called a strike.
Talk about the success of McCullers throwing a curveball. He threw one to Bruce Maxwell and just kind of went against the shift. That's a line drive center field, but because Marisnik was shading him in left center, couldn't get to it. So a good start for the A's. They can do something with the leadoff double.
Simeon a walk and a single. He has scored both of the A's runs. Bounce toward third in the hole, and it's under the glove of Correa. They're going to throw to third, and Maxwell's out. Maxwell had to wait to see if it got through, and it just went under the glove of Correa. But I got to tell you what, Marwin Gonzalez deserves a lot of credit because he was charging in, and he got rid of it quickly.
Well, Bruce is going back to the bag, and at that point, he's going from dead stop and just could not get to it. That's a base hit for Marcus Simeon, but instead of being first and second or first and third, you're right, Gonzalez charged it almost like he was a shallow shortstop.
That was a heck of a play.
It was a great play, and you know the defense really is a difference in this game. You know, really from a double play turn by the Astros, Piscotty's great catch, but that was a great defensive play by Marwin Gonzalez to throw a runner out at third base on a base hit and one he charged.
Yeah, you always got to look at, well, what would it have been?
Yeah.
First and third, nobody out.
Exactly.
But to see an outfielder, and Gonzalez plays all over, throw on the run like that from a fairly long distance and make a very accurate throw, just don't see that very often.
I think what you take away from it, from that play, from the Springer play out in right field, is their heads are on a swivel. They are in the game. They are anticipating the next play, the next move. And this is a great job by Marwin Hare. He essentially what we call a do or die. He do or dies that ball out to him in left field, meaning if he misses it, he's probably going to have to run a while to get it. If not, he's coming up, makes a strong throw, and a nice play.
Marcus runs and the ball's fouled back.
Well, the key with Bruce Maxwell is that he was not that far off the bag. And you just assume that with the ground ball through, you're going to make it easily. And it's almost like with a runner at second base, a hard hit ball to the right side, you're assuming you're going to get to third base, but here comes the throw and you're out. Bruce knows it, hits a double, and a play like that, sometimes, I mean, the player at times would say, wait a minute, I'm supposed to be at third base. I got to go. Instead of just saying,
yeah, exactly.
It's like, okay, it's a ground ball through. I made sure it went through. I'm not going to score, but I should be at third base. But in reality, maybe I shouldn't have tried. And I think that's why he had the towel on his head, because he probably did what people assumed he should be doing, and it just didn't work out.
2-2 to Matt Joyce.
That was a big play.
And I think that right there is the difference for the folks at home who wonder when we talk about the difference between physical mistakes and mental mistakes. The physical mistake was maybe not getting far enough off the bag to gain a read that would allow you to get to third. The mental mistake was taking off, knowing you probably weren't going to be able to make it over there to third base, especially that first out over there at third base. So while the physical mistakes are acceptable and you can deal with those, it's those mental mistakes that guys like to stay away from.
So 3-2, Simeon runs, swing and a miss, throw to second base is not in time. Marcus has a stolen base.
Fans, you've seen him at the ballpark. Now it's time to wear him on your back. There should be a lot of fun. The Harvey the Rabbit backpack makes its debut on Saturday, May the 26th. That's against the Arizona Diamondbacks, and they are hot. First 15,000 fans get this awesome giveaway. It's presented by Ross Dress for Less. Plus, the A's 50th anniversary season-long celebration continues with a special Swing and A's celebration, a day dedicated to honoring this special team from 1970s. Make sure you grab your tickets to this special day at athletics.com/tickets. We see him every day, don't we, Harvey?
Yeah, Harvey comes out before the game. Comes out a little different than he did back in the 70s. When he popped up out of the ground right near home plate.
Yeah.
Harvey does he drives up from center field. He's
Got a ball for Campy.
Harvey's always smiling, man.
Campy will make friends with anybody.
Oh, yeah.
Maury, good take there. 1-1 the count. 81 pitches for McCullers.
You know, he's got a chance to get back to the dugout through 5 innings with the lead.
He has not been sharp. He's have stranded 3 in the first 4 innings. Hit into a couple of double plays. 4-6-3 in the third, 6-4-3 in the fourth. Tying run, Marcus Simeon. Gonzalez very shallow and close to the line. Marisnik over into left center field. Place to hit it would be the right field corner, because there's nobody there.
He's probably not going to get a pitch that he can think about. It's the line drive he hit in his first at bat, with Springer playing exactly where he is, was the line drive right at Springer.
So 2-2 to Lowry, who has hit a fly ball to right field, and he has walked. Drive this swing foul behind us.
I don't know how many times the hitter goes to the plate and he looks around and sees the defense. What are you guys doing? How can you play me this way? And then, you know, I still think a lot of times it can be pitched accordingly by base how the defense is set up. And there you have, that's Gonzalez way to the lower or the left of your screen, just barely seeing him. He's so far over to the left field line. Plus, he's playing very shallow, which helped him throw out Maxwell at third.
A little bit inside. There's that hard slider. Curveball. So full count. Here it is. And it's a little bit high. Another good at bat for Lowry. So that is 4 walks for McCullers. He's going to get a visit from his pitching coach.
Designated hitter.
And there's going to be action out in the Astros bullpen. Looks like Brad Peacock getting up. Saw a lot of him in the postseason.
And of course, McCullers is Peacock getting loose. Another starter down the bullpen, but McCullers in his first start against the A's, his debut walked 3, and then the 2 starts in 16, he walked 3 and 4. Last start against the A's in Houston, didn't walk anybody. So it's got to be a little concerning to Brent Strom. Probably saying, hey, get through this inning and turn it over the bullpen.
Well, he had a start earlier this year in Minnesota on the 11th of April, Ray, where he walked 6. But that is really the only start where he's had control issues, except for tonight a little bit.
When he talked about fiddling around with his 2-seamer, changing a grip on it earlier this year in spring training. And sometimes guys find themselves not necessarily in between grips, but trying to find that happy medium with what got you here and what you're trying to evolve into, what you're trying to work on. So that could be something that's playing a role in the erratic command that we're seeing tonight from Lance.
Chris Davis has got an RBI and a sacrifice fly. 31st of the year. He could not hold up. Chris Davis can't believe it.
Pitch was away. He opens up and just kind of slings the bat out, and Marty Foster saw it was right there where the bat hit, went a little far. He's so strong he brought it back and still had the strike called on it.
Tap toward Bregman. He's going to throw across to first, and that's going to do it. So the A's had a shot, but do not score. They strand a pair.
Hats off for heroes, Because no matter where you serve or when you serve, we stand ready to serve all military families.
3-2 game, 6th inning here at the Coliseum. Small crowd tonight, 9,675. Seeing a good pitching matchup with McCullers and Minaya. Pitch to Carlos Correa is right in there. Correa, Gurriel, and Bregman here in the 6th inning. Single and a strikeout for the fine young shortstop for the Astros. Chapman's got it. Hey, let's go back 50 years ago tonight. 1968. Jim Catfish Hunter threw a perfect game right here at the Coliseum. May 8th, 1968. Unfortunately, there was no video of that sensational performance, but we know what happened.
Yes, we did.
Andy had a big night at the plate.
3 hits, drove in 3 and scored the 4th.
Final score was 4-0, but I was reading about that today. I think it was a 0-0 game into the later innings. 11 strikeouts, no walks.
That's a day.
That's a good day.
That's a day.
Well, especially to hit. And I interviewed Catfish in '92, 25th anniversary. And the one thing he said, I said, what do you remember about it? He said that Bob Kennedy, the manager, wouldn't let me take batting practice. And he said, I'm in the cage, and he said, hey, you're pitching tonight. He said, I'm also hitting. I'm getting my BP. And he says, no, he finished. He told the BP pitcher to stop throwing him. So he said, I wrapped my bat against the batting cage and went in the clubhouse.
That one is hit pretty well to left field. Joyce near the wall. He leaps, and it's off the wall. So Gurriel will have a double.
Well, you see how close he is to the wall, or how far. He's not quite at the wall, almost able to take another step. But the ball was hit so hard by Gurriel. It's nice if he can get back and trot straight up, but he did not have that opportunity.
So Gurriel with his 8th double.
But the great Monty Moore interviewed Catfish Hunter following that game 50 years ago tonight. And played it tonight, and it was just like it was talking right now.
Sure.
Just a tremendous job by the great Monty Moore.
Look at that. That's a great shot.
Jim Pagliarone, his catcher, unfortunately passed away. Sal Bailey, see Reggie coming in. Perfect game. First year in Oakland. Had to be thinking, wow, white shoes, great uniforms. It's an everyday occurrence.
Right, Steve Vucinich, the bat boy. No, ball boy. He was down the line, right? He watched the game from down the line.
He's got a picture with Joe DiMaggio in his office. You know,
doesn't get any better than that.
How about that?
Of course, that was the A's first year. You know, well, designated hitter was still 3-4 years away.
Right.
So Catfish probably wasn't. Maybe the designated hitter wasn't even anything anybody talked about yet. Pitchers needed to get their hacks in.
You know that heavy. You know he's giving that check and he's holding. He says, "Come on, man! You don't want to take this, do you, Cat?"
It almost tore apart when Catfish finally left.
And Jim Pagliarone is sitting there thinking, "Wait a minute! I contributed to this."
Chapman's got it.
I don't know, Foss. I didn't see anything wrong with the compensation there. That seemed pretty even to me.
Yeah, of course you do. Well, I know it's just a no-hitter, but it's the great Catfish Hunter. Never shook off anybody, and he told the story about his great control. He said his older brothers would not let him play with them unless he threw strikes.
Makes perfect sense.
That's great incentive. Did you have that with your brothers?
Yeah. I guess I kind of know what that feels like.
Glenn, you want to play with us? You better throw strikes.
Permanent base runner. So big out to get here. Marwin Gonzalez with Gurriel at second.
You know, when Catfish went to the Yankees following the '74 season, and he always said that he enjoyed throwing batting practice. He said, why throw on the side? As this pitcher is ready to come in, looks like Peacock's going to be pitching the 6th. But Catfish said, by me throwing batting practice to my teammates, then the Oakland A's, said when I went to the Yankees, I knew how to pitch them.
Joyce coming in. Joyce is not going to get it. He'll play it on a hop. Gurriel coming home. The throw is just a little bit late. And the Astros again get that big hit. This time it's Marwin Gonzalez.
With 2 outs. Did it last night in the first inning with 2 outs. Sinking fast, and unfortunately, for Sean Manaea, ball out over the plate.
Gonzalez last night, what do you have, 5 RBIs last night? So he's got another one tonight. He's got 23 on the year. So when it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your trusted oil change, tune-up, and repair expert.
California is brought to you by the Chrysler Pacifica Hybrid, America's first hybrid minivan. Test drive one today.
So 4-2 Astros lead, still batting here in the top of the 6th inning. So Sean Manaea, 5 2/3 innings, 7 hits and the 4 runs, no walks, 3 strikeouts. So it's Lou Trevino. Good numbers. 2-0, 0.84 ERA. Just trying to get that 3rd out. See if it's Gaddis. Hey, remember, Ray, just like 25 minutes ago, you said every time you look up, there's a no-hitter going on, right?
Yeah.
And we had one tonight.
Yeah, I got another one.
Jeremy Hellickson is perfect through 6 innings in San Diego. Hellickson pitching for the Washington Nationals. Dallas, keep an eye on that.
Will do.
Just get you all worked up down there. Every time you turn a game on, there's a no-hitter going. Simeon under his glove into left field. So a hard hit ball by Gaddis.
Trevino comes in supplying the horsepower. We've seen him up to 98 at times. There's a good chance this was coming off the bat with a little R.A. Dickey English on it. A little bit of a knuckle job. Just dives down right at the last minute underneath the glove of Marcus.
Still have not got a ruling on that play. pass it on when we hear. So here's McCann. McCann hits a high pop-up. Chapman hustling over. Could have room, and he will. So Chapman makes the catch. A run for the Astros. Bottom of the 6th coming up. 4-2 Houston. Memorable moments in Oakland. Now we want the fans to pick the most memorable moment in a season-long promotion. Tonight it's Ricky Henderson gets traded back to Oakland in 1989 versus Jose Canseco's monster home run blast in the 1989 ALCS in Toronto. Fans vote through our A's Twitter poll. The play that wins advances to the next memorable moment. You can do it till 10 o'clock. So you got a little time yet. Bottom of the 6th inning, Olsen will lead it off against the new pitcher Brad Peacock. So McCullers goes 5. Brad Peacock has turned into quite a valuable part of the Astros pitching staff, whether it be, he's not really spot starting this year, but he did the last couple years. Now when it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your trusted oil change tune-up and repair experts. 13 appearances for Peacock so far, 1-1, 2.63 ERA.
And what he does is he provides A.J. Hinch with depth down there in that bullpen, with length in that bullpen, obviously capable of starting, but in a situation where it might not be high leverage and you're looking for some length. All of this game situation here, Peacock's a nice guy to be able to turn to.
How about this? As a starter last year, 10-2, 3.22 ERA. As a reliever, 3-0, 1.77 ERA.
So both hats fit.
And not a bad postseason for him either.
Oh, no.
He got the save in Game 3 of the World Series. And that's a good pitch right on the inside corner.
He's got the stuff, no doubt about it. High velocity, good breaking ball as well. See that late life in the zone, 94 miles an hour, sort of catches another gear right about there. Takes off, comes back over the plate, and Ole can't do much about it.
Think about this, you guys. Game 3 of the World Series, Peacock gets the save. He throws 3 2/3 innings. Game 7, 2 innings, and then Charlie Morton just rolled through everybody. So you think those two guys weren't valuable?
Yeah, so much for a 1-inning save, or 1 inning at all for a closer. I think the thing that A.J. Hinch did last year, he just went against the conventional starter, middle reliever, closer, and he did what he had to do to make the changes to be able to become world champions. And there is a lot of attention given to a manager during that time.
Well, Game 7 of the World Series, when Charlie Morton came in and just rolled right through it. And remember, most of the postseason, kind of the main guys for the Astros in the bullpen struggled. Remember, Giles really struggled. Davinsky threw a lot. Guys that you would normally see him go to in the 8th and 9th inning.
That's where he adapted, because he went to his starters.
So he went to Peacock, who got a save, and then Game 7, Peacock and Morton. 2-2 pitch outside corner, strike 3 call.
Back-to-back strikeouts on fastballs, which still think surprising. 2-2 both counts.
Right on the corner.
Backdoor 2-seam fastball.
Well, noticing something too with Peacock there on that fastball late in the zone. You can see him. I don't know if it's a drop down, but he works just underneath that baseball, and I think it's to garner that arm side movement, that late life back over the inside part of the plate against these lefties.
I want to say a couple years ago, remember Peacock when he was with the Astros starting games, and this is when the Astros are really struggling. He was over the top.
Yes,
a couple years ago he dropped down, and it's made him a much better pitcher.
I can't remember if it was 08, 09 he was in camp with us.
That's right.
Yep.
Never liked the A's for trading. A little bit added crawl at that time when he faced the Athletics. Some guys just feel that way in today's world, where guys are traded all the time. And it's rare to see guys staying with one team their whole career.
1-1 pitch is right there, 93 miles an hour. Let's get that little 3/4 delivery, get a little more movement.
That's right.
Pinder has grounded out and reached on an air. Right there, strike 3 call. So Peacock strikes out the side, all 3 looking. We're headed to the 7th.
It's brought to you by Kelly Moore Paints. Go where the pros go. Kelly Moore, the painter's paint store.
Good looking jerseys. That's right. The Kelly Green. What a hit, huh? Kelly Green jerseys. Right now, the Astros leading 4-2, 7th inning. Lou Trevino back out there. Marisnick kind of jabbed at it, then tried to pull the bat back.
Well, the one thing for the Athletics, they have to make sure that the Astros don't score anymore and they have a chance to come back, because they're going to get 12 outs out of the bullpen. 3 very easy outs already recorded by Peacock with the 3 consecutive strikeouts. But any chance to come back, you cannot afford to allow any more runs.
1-1 to Marisnick, who has struck out, and then he doubled and scored in the 5th. Manaea went 5 2/3 innings. Springer to follow, and then Altuve. Fastball at 98 miles an hour.
And if you go back and look at the outing from Brett Anderson last night, and you look at the outing from Sean Manaea tonight, not necessarily a lack of stuff, just a lack of command, a lack of location. Fastballs out over the heart of the plate, breaking balls in the middle of the plate. And that's one thing this team does not do, is they do not miss those mistakes, especially towards the top of the lineup. They make you pay.
Astros 3rd in the American League in runs scored, behind the Yankees and the Red Sox, so that's pretty good company. And a foul tip, and that's a strikeout, and that's out number 1.
You know, Trevino's got the horsepower. He's got the ability to overpower guys and dominate within the strike zone here. A fine example of that. 98 miles an hour, your best, my best, right in the zone. Good job by Trevino to challenge these guys with the fastball.
So here's Springer, 2 more hits tonight after 6 hits last night. The top 5 run-scoring teams in the American League are the Yankees, Red Sox, Astros, Blue Jays, and Angels.
Oh, that's great, Kite, because the next 3 teams are just you just mentioned 3 of them in the top 4.
I didn't want to go there, but I'm trying to tell a story. The A's are 6th in the league in runs scored.
That's a great story. Jeez, Daddy, I can't wait for you to tell another nighttime story.
Another nightmare? I don't mean to keep everybody up at night. It will be a tough road trip. 1-1 to Springer. Springer on the ground. Simeon 2-1. The Rockies beat the Angels tonight 4-2.
Number 27.
So right now the Angels and the Astros are tied for first place. It was Gray over Heaney. Upton homered for the Angels. That's just a quick 2-game series. They'll play again tomorrow. So an interleague matchup in Colorado. We will be in Colorado this year. Coors Field. These have already been to Dodger Stadium. Diamondbacks will come here. A's and Giants have back-to-back series around the All-Star break. That's interesting. Altuve got a hit. So he's 1 for 4.
But another 2-out start to a rally, and that's where Trevino has to shut it down. There's a ball that just spun.
Number 1,
Altuve. Not a bad pitch to throw 1-0, but it didn't really break as sharply as Trevino had hoped, and left it right in the middle of the plate. And the always aggressive Altuve did not let it go. He does not see a lot of pitches. That's the amazing thing, how successful he has been in the course of his career. Not being patient at all. May try to steal second now.
Here's Correa. Altuve inches off. He's got a good lead.
Well, something Altuve does when he's getting his lead, if we can get a shot at his feet maybe, he continues to gain ground slowly but surely, with every step he takes, he's gaining ground. So it's up to Trevino to be able to stop that. See, he's set now, and as he comes set, he continues to gain, continues to gain.
There we go. And Correa fouls it straight back.
So I got a bet here that what we'll see from Trevino is a hold. Hold. Probably a good chance Correa calls timeout, and that's just to disrupt the timing of Altuve over there at first base. You see here, he's timing him up. He's got his cue. Not a bad jump there by Altuve.
Little surprised that Correa swung at the ball.
Yeah.
I mean, we've talked about that forever, and here's a guy, he's going head down trying to steal second, and Correa sees him take off even with the green light. But
once again, this one's looped down the right field line. Piscotty hustling over, and he dives, and it's a foul ball. So the count 0-2.
I will say the great Ricky Henderson, great effort by Piscotty, and nice to go into the dive in foul territory, knowing that you can take the chance. If it's there and you make the play, it's tremendous. Otherwise, it's just a strike. But the great Ricky Henderson always said to Dwayne Murphy, don't take pitches for me, because you're going to get good pitches to hit. Maybe Correa is thinking the same thing, or Altuve said it to him. If I'm going to be running, you get a fastball, let it go. But I think in this situation, it's more, and he's looking to see if there's a pitch out after running twice.
See if he catches his breath for one pitch.
But I would think that with 2 outs, a situation where if you're a hitter, you'd rather have a runner in scoring position where you can drive him in. And especially with the jumps that Altuve has gotten both times.
Good lead again. And he was going.
Yep.
He's got a huge lead.
And what he's done right now is he's distracted Trevino. So if you're Trevino, you want to step off the mound, gather your thoughts, grab that pitch that you're looking for, execute it, forget about the runner over at first, do your job, hold the baseball, and deliver a strike to home plate.
Not running, and they
Call the ball.
Call the ball.
Yep. Try to go too quickly. And one of the reasons that he changed his whole setup. I mean, he holding.
So you gotta come to a stop with the hands.
He did not. He tried to get quicker, and to Dallas's point, he distracted him enough. He's down scoring position.
Well, this is what speed on the base paths does.
But see, at first base, and granted he did run twice, but if you concentrate on the hitter, there are 2 outs. And even though the runner is there, I mean, they're not paying attention to him now. But there are times that you just say, okay, do whatever you're going to. I'm going to get the hitter, get the guy at the plate, and not worry about the base runner.
And this would be one of those times.
It's a heck of a battle here for Correa against Trevino with the fastball. One thing Correa did in his last round of batting practice, he had the BP thrower hump it up as hard as he can. 5 fastballs, tried to sneak it by Correa. Correa working on getting that foot down and shooting the ball to the right side.
0-2 pitch. Nope. Look at second.
And there's no reason for that. I mean, you look at your infielders, they want to hold their position. So if Altuve does steal, let him go. But you got to, right now with 2 strikes, the total attention should be to the hitter. Try to get him out with your best pitch and not worry about Altuve, who's now in score position.
And he got him swinging. So Altuve stranded at second. We have reached the 7th inning stretch with the Astros leading 4-2.
Smart. Here's a base hit, Simeon. But watch coming in, and you can see how quickly Marwin Gonzalez charged the ball, a ground ball by Simeon. Off balance throw to third base as Bruce Maxwell tried to go to third after the ball eluded Correa. And he is out instead of first and third, and nobody out. Runner at first and one out. Marwin Gonzalez, the outstanding play. And defense tonight has been on display by the Astros between turning the double play and that play by Gonzalez. And now Peacock just continues to roll along.
Facing Piscotty, Maxwell, and Simeon here in the bottom of the 7th inning. And that one's hit toward left field, but off the end of the bat. Marwin Gonzalez is under it. Just did not have quite that right sound. So one out, and here is Maxwell. If you're just joining us, he had a no-hitter tonight. James Paxton of the Seattle Mariners no-hit the Toronto Blue Jays.
How's the perfecto? And
no, that ended.
That ended?
Yeah, that ended. It's Chris Davinsky and Ryan Dole. Yankees beat the Red Sox 3-2. That's a big series. Altuve scoops it. Altuve throws it. Gurriel digs it, and that's 2 outs. So now to the top of the order, Marcus Simeon. So there's the line on the no-hitter tonight for James Paxton. 3 walks, 7 strikeouts. Did not throw 100 pitches.
Well, see the difference in the strikeouts, 16, 105 pitches.
Absolutely.
He throws tonight 99 pitches, 7 strikeouts.
And we just saw some highlights, and there was a couple really nice plays made. Kyle Seager made a sensational play at third base. Dove behind the bag. Threw it out at first. Ben Gamble in left field caught a ball at the wall. Dee Gordon made a diving catch in center field, so he had some help.
So he did complete the task in under 100 pitches.
I believe it was it right at 99? Yeah.
That is what we know in pitching circles as a Maddox.
That's right. Greatest of all time, a GOAT.
That's
Maddox-esque.
right. A Maddox.
Yeah.
A complete game shutout in 99 pitches or less is a Maddox. Dazzling performance
Well, of
by
course,
the Maple.
incidentally, it was Kendall Graveman who met with the greatest of all time in Chicago and came out and threw a Maddox at 98 pitch shutout 2016. And trying to duplicate that ever since. And it took until September 15 last year for the A's to have another shutout.
Bregman on the run. And another good inning for Brad Peacock. So he has gone 6 up, 6 down, and we are moving to the 8th.
A's Baseball on NBC Sports California is brought to you by the Chrysler Pacifica Hybrid, America's first hybrid minivan. Test drive one today.
So 4-2 Astros, as it's the top of the 8th inning. When it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your trusted oil change, tune-up, and repair experts. So it's Ryan Dole coming in. Inning and a third for Trevino. And now here's Ryan Dole, who last pitched on Friday night. 8th appearance, no record. 2.70 ERA, just 6 2/3 innings pitched so far. Gurriel has his second hit. He's got a single and a double. And now 10 hits for the Astros.
Now batting, number 2, Alex Bregman.
Dole comes in. It's ahead early and then goes to that breaking ball down and away. You see Maxwell reaching down and away. Not a terrible pitch, just up in the zone. Gurriel, you keep your hands back, you give yourself a fighting chance in the box, and that's exactly how that turned out.
Here's Bregman, who homered in the second. Since then, he has struck out and he has lined out. He bounces one right to Marcus. Should be 2, and it is. 6-4-3 on the double play, and 2 away.
Well, Ryan Dole, who this a little bit earlier struck out 4 in 1 inning, set an Oakland record. This time a tailor-made 6-4-3 double play. Ryan Dole get a hard hit ball like that to a shortstop. That should be a tailor-made, which it was. 50th anniversary, Ryan Dole in the record books, 4 strikeouts, the first ever time at the Coliseum, 4 strikeouts in an inning. Amazing, it took 50 years for that to happen at the Coliseum.
So it won't be quite the anniversary of a perfect game, but 50 years from now.
Be confetti streaming in the streets, Kite.
Yeah.
Well, you know, we're honored that we're going to have back-to-back celebrations because of Catfish tonight, Dallas Breed tomorrow. So, I mean, that's...
We're all about perfect game.
That's right. You look so perfect, Dallas.
I try, Foss. You know, it's just fun to be able to remember, because for me, it's remembering the day, remembering the teammates, remembering everything that kind of surrounds those days. It's not the action or defeat itself. It's everything that goes into that, and that's kind of. Obviously, in my seat, in my position, sitting here amongst the fans, I have the opportunity day in, day out to be able to talk to these fine men and women, these dedicated, diehard fans, and that's why I always say it really is the gift that continues to give.
I see it's going to be an 8-year anniversary, and we just want to know if they're going to be eclairs. So, Peggy, wherever you might be, let's go.
Marwin Gonzalez with another hit.
Another 2-out hit.
This was before the game today. Bert Campaneris threw out the first pitch.
Said hello to Harvey.
In honor of Catfish Hunter's perfect game. Campy was playing that night.
Yeah.
It's a good throw.
I told him in the dugout I was going to be able to catch it like this. And damn near hit the
And that is the truth. I have the opportunity to work with Campy in the off season at the fantasy camp, and man, what a treat.
Yeah.
Here's Reddick hitting for Gaddis.
The thing about Campy, Mike Paul, the lefty, the stylish lefty, would tell me that he had lifted his leg and hear this ching, 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 ching. Campy was running into second. He said, there he goes again. He had something in his back pocket that had that sound that he knew he was on his way.
First pitch to Reddick is a little bit low. So 11 hits now for the Astros. Gaddis was 1 for 3 in his ball game. As we mentioned, the Yankees beat the Red Sox tonight 3-2 in New York. Giancarlo Stanton with a couple of home runs, 8 and 9.
Said he hit one to right and one to left.
He did.
Yeah.
He hit a laser shot to left field.
Hey, get the head out and let it get deep.
I just wonder next year, what, late June, when the Red Sox and Yankees going to London? How many off days are going to have before and after that trip?
3. I'm just guessing. So Reddick is retired. Bottom of the 8th coming up. Let's go A's. They trail 4-2. 3.
By authority of the Oakland Athletics. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Athletics Investment Group, LLC.
All right, let's check out our game summary brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. 4-11-1 for the Astros, 2-5-0 for the Athletics. McCullers won 5, Manaea won 5 2/3. Bregman with the only home run in the game. So he's got 2 more shots here, and they will go up against Chris Davinsky in the 8th. Hang in there.
Changeup artist is Davinsky.
Yep, kind of a funky delivery, falls off the mound. It's a little bit like Greg Holland.
Yeah.
But a good season. 1-1 with a 1.29 ERA. When it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service. It's your trusted oil change, tune-up, and repair experts.
Davinsky kind of like McCullers. McCullers throw the curve and the slider anytime. Davinsky throws changeup anytime.
He's working 92 to 96, 80 to 84 on the slider and the changeup. 45% changeups against left-handers out of Davinsky.
Is.
Davinsky, 27 years old.
So old.
He's old. He's had 2 really good years in the Astros bullpen. High fly ball to center. Room for Marisnik as he gets back. And Matt Joyce is retired. 1 away here in the bottom of the 8th. Got a day game tomorrow as these will wrap up this series, and they will wrap up the homestand. Garrett Cole and Daniel Migden is your pitching matchup. So Cole off to a terrific start, 77 strikeouts in his first 7 starts. Migden looking for his 3rd win of the year. So that'll be tomorrow. Our coverage starts at noon with A's pregame live, and then first pitch right around 12:35. And the A's will jump on a plane and we will fly to New York. Have an off day in New York tomorrow, and then a big 3-game series against the red hot Yankees. Yankees have won 16 out of their last 17. Bregman has it. He throws to first. That ball had a little English on it.
Well, there's your shift. 3 to the right side, only 1 to the left. That was Bregman, and it gets the ground ball off the end of the bat. Jed Lowry. And you know the thing about New York, those Yankee fans never say who are the Yankees playing. They're saying we're going to beat whoever they are playing.
Does not matter.
They don't care. It's about their team, the roll call.
It's always fun. It's a good atmosphere in New York.
Yes, it is.
You know, we enjoy going there. Davis hits a high fly ball. Going to be a foul ball. Is anybody going to get it? Not quite. Here's a game for you, Ray. In Dallas, I got a question for you. Royals 15, Orioles 7. Dallas, you had some great starts. I'm sure there was a couple stinkers in there somewhere, but did you ever have this? Dylan Bundy, no innings pitched, 5 hits, 7 earned runs, 28 pitches, 4 home runs allowed. He did not get one single out.
I can proudly say I've recorded at least 1 out in every outing as a professional.
That's
wow.
That's an upgrade.
I tell you, that kind of takes me back to spring training in 2010 with one Ben Sheets, who I believe did not record a single out, gave up 10 runs, and came back in and said, you know, if I'd have had another inning, I feel like I'd have been fine. I'd have gotten right back where I
He may have been serious, too.
Ben Sheets.
One of the best ever.
Give me the ball.
Just an absolute beauty.
The Royals scored 10 runs in that first inning, 7 of them coming off Dylan Bundy, Dylan Bundy's pretty darn good.
Yes,
I know he's off to a rough start this year.
But what do you think it does to your ERA?
Oh,
I mean, 0 outs and 7 earnings.
well, that's, you know, you think about looking at a stat pack and just tacking on 7 earnings on top of those numbers without tacking on any outs. That's cause for concern.
Struggles continue. The Orioles are now 8-27, and they have lost 7 in a row.
Let's see, when he goes to arbitration, he says, throw out that one game, and I had a good season, you know?
And this club's going to say, we're not throwing anything out. Big chopper. Bregman's got it. He'll throw on the run. And, boy, the Astros bullpen, how about what they've done? 9 up, 9 down. So far, we are headed to the 9th.
California is brought to you by Toyota. Designed for the grind that comes through every time. See your local Toyota dealer today. Toyota. Let's go places. And by Xfinity. X1 will change the way you experience TV.
So we've reached the 9th inning. Astros leading 4-2. new pitcher for the A's is Santiago Casilla. He is pitcher number 4 for Bob Melvin. 2.57 ERA, just 4 hits allowed and 2 walks in 14 innings for Casilla. He's got a save. Kind of quietly doing a pretty good job out of the bullpen early in this season. McCann loops one into left field for a hit.
Well, probably the biggest thing for Santiago Casilla was the save was in Texas. Confidence, the manager showed him to come in, got the job done. This is just good hitting by McCann on a pitch out of the strike zone, maybe 6-7 inches.
Number 6.
Couple as far as this ball just keeps running, and McCann sees a shift with several to the right side. Flared it out to left.
Yeah, that ball was in the other batter's box.
So 12 hits now for Houston, and that'll bring up Marisnik. Chapman comes in a couple steps. Foul. Home plate, then it rolls back toward the on-deck circle.
That guy is down at diamond level with that big glove. He'll never use it.
No, he's not going to use that.
It's at diamond level. He's got the big screen, the netting. The only thing he might get is the silo ball.
Yep.
Straight up.
Yeah, you don't see too many balls drop down there. There he is.
Somewhere Jack Cust is going. If I'd have had that glove, I'd have probably got a few more ABs. I'd have been all right.
Jack Cust.
Well, he can thank Mike Piazza when he tried to avoid the tag in Boston.
Yeah.
And Piazza got hurt. Cust comes up and
he was a beauty, wasn't he, Jack Cust?
I mean, he had been great launch angle time, right?
Oh, man,
he was a launch
He
angle
was
guy.
perfect because he could take and launch at a heartbeat.
Here's Piscotty. So
I want you guys to put your eyes on this right here. Check out Correa in the background here. Bregman cuts him off. Correa goes, hey, can I play with you? Is it okay if I play too? I'm over here. They got me out here for a reason. I'm not just a hood ornament. And it's funny because Alex Bregman, we talk about Bregman being a shortstop over there at the third base position, but he made a play earlier in the game as well on Chapman. A ball hopped, came and got the short hop right in front of Correa, and Correa kind of did the same thing. Playful banter between the two.
Plus, you know what? Correa's always got this. He can say, I was a #1 draft pick.
That's right.
You were number 2.
That's right. check our numbers.
That's right. That's what Mark Mulder always said. Of course, Mark Mulder was the second player taken in the draft, but he said every time he saw Pat Burrell, I was #1, you were #2. It's never going to change.
Well, that's it. And it's funny you bring up Pat, because Pat used to say, I don't know what it's like to be a first rounder. I was the first pick. I don't know what it's like to be a first rounder.
We're going to get a meeting at the mound between Maxwell and Casilla.
Pat the bat.
Remember Gordon Linky said that when Pat Burrell became a scout, he said he's the best former player that I've ever seen that could adapt to scouting as quickly as he did. Quite a
He
compliment.
only did it for a couple of years.
Yeah.
1-0 the count to Springer, who is 2 for 4. He's 8 for 10 in the series. Right to the backstop.
They just talked about that. Wow. Cannot afford. You just don't want to give extra runs. You know, Coyotes fans are yelling Jerry. They think it's that extra inning game when Blevins hit many years ago.
Wow, that's a time warp.
What do you think?
will happen occasionally with Casilla on the mound. Throw a 56-footer. And now it's 3-0 to Springer. Springer a 2-run double in the 5th inning, and that is the hit that gave the Astros the lead.
Well, their last 2-run score, that one you just mentioned, and Marwin Gonzalez another 2-out hit. The last 2-run score, both coming with 2 outs.
And that went a little bit inside, and he walked it. First walk in this pitcher.
Tough pitch there for Casilla. Good pitcher's pitch down in the zone. Oh, it's 3-0.
You know what? That's a strike.
I'm gonna need it.
Come on.
Number 27, Jose Altuve.
Counts 3-0.
Last night, that had been considered 3 strikes by Joe West. Called a pitch on Altuve that hit the dirt.
So here is Altuve. First and second, 1 out. Altuve is 1 for 4. He singled in the 7th inning. So Altuve, with his 1 hit tonight, he now has 49 hits in 38 games. Lowry does not have a hit tonight, so he has 48. There is a strike. Altuve probably will not be thrilled with that call.
This is a big pitch here for Santiago Casilla. 1-1. Talk about the aggressiveness of Altuve early in counts. Big pitch here if he can get him to 1-2. Good chance for the punch out pop up.
Now swing there, so now it's 1-2.
I think that swing indicated he's looking fastball.
Yeah.
It did not get it. Curveball from Santiago Casilla. That's opened up and reaching for a pitch that no chance to make contact.
We'll see what Casilla throws ahead in the count. 1-2. McCann at second, Springer at first. And that one off of Maxwell. Doesn't roll too far away, and McCann does not run real well.
Might have been off Marty Foster too. On the block on the breaking ball. No, it's all Bruce Maxwell. Got it. Came down his left leg. You're blocking a ball in the dirt. You use your whole body as much as you can just to try to block it.
Pitch is outside, and now the count is 4. I'm standing around right now.
Yeah.
Game has grinded to a halt.
See it, typically a slow worker, methodical in his approach.
And that's inside, and he walked it. And now the bases are loaded for Correa.
Tried to throw the same curveball. They threw it for strike 2, but it did not work.
So a mound visit for the pitching coach, Scott Emerson.
You still talking about mound visits? That's still
Nah, I'm over the mound visit thing, because after I saw that number that it only happened once in the month of April where a team used all 6. I'm over it. I don't even care how many of the A's have left. Take the A's on the go this season and stream the games on NBCSportsCalifornia.com and the NBC Sports app.
And remember, if you have leftover visits, you can take them on that app.
No, you can't. Dallas, you cannot take mound visits home with you.
They're not like rollover minutes?
No, it's like timeouts in the NFL. You cannot take them with you into the locker room.
Number 1, Carlos Correa.
It's no good.
Speaking of the way this sitting's going, they may be going to the locker room pretty soon.
So they're loaded with 1 out. Be careful here as Carlos Correa steps up. McCann, Springer, Altuve.
You see Santiago just stepped off the back of the mound and motioned to his eyes to Maxwell, telling him, all right, let's go, put it down. I want to be able to see it. Start the signs again.
That's a very good idea with runners at third, and you got the speed at second and first, and McCann has to hurry because the guys would be right up his tail.
Correa, a little pop-up. And Olsen's going to crap it.
Yeah, all that time he took, Correa is just frozen.
So 2 away for Gurriel.
Number 10, Yuli Gurriel.
Gurriel is 2 for 4. A single, a double, and a run scored. And a 1-out double in the 6th, and then scored on Gonzalez, 2-out single. In the dirt, blocked by Maxwell.
Six, please.
16 pitches thrown by Casilla, and quite frankly, it feels like it's been about 30.
If you want to ask the infielders. But all the pitches thrown, but this is a huge at bat. A base hit makes it a 4-run game. And out, the A's put a runner on. Ken Giles just out the bullpen waiting around as he got up as soon as Casilla took them out in the 9th inning, and he's standing more than he's throwing. Giles down in the bullpen.
Casilla, I don't know if he's talking to Springer.
Well, that's exactly what's happening here is Casilla is looking back and he thinks that Springer is being able to tip pitches. I guarantee that's the conversation.
Yeah.
And Springer told him, hey, let's go.
That one's a strike on the inside corner. So 1-1 the count.
There's one thing you think about as the runner at second base. We talk about the technology being able to relay signs. Could be at times positioning of the hands, whether the hands are inside the body or outside the body, indicating off speed or a fastball.
Just as much also as the location. That's why it's important to catcher not move too quickly, because the location a lot of times will dictate what type of pitch it is.
And that bends Gurriel back out of the way. It was a breaking ball.
It was a curved ball that did nothing except go close to Gurriel, not as close as he thought.
So Casilla has walked 2 and given up a hit. Piscotty comes in. Piscotty waits. Piscotty's got it. So Santiago Casilla has to work hard, but he keeps the Astros off the board. Bottom of the 9th coming up.
game, and we talk about two-out hitting. How about this one? George Springer, after Sean and I got 2 quick outs. That was in the 5th inning. And George Springer with a big 2-run double. Started with a hit batter. There's Brian McCann. He couldn't score a Marisnik's double. George Springer scored both of them with a run scoring 2-run double. And that's the difference. 12 hits for the Astros after a whole bunch last night. And the bullpen, back to your point, has been perfect for the Astros.
9 up, 9 down. So they hand it to Ken Giles. He's 3 for 3 in save opportunities. Giles last year with 34 saves for the Astros. First pitch to Olson. He had a good swing, fouls it straight back. And Olson is 0 for 3.
Ken Giles does not mess around, coming right at you. 96, 98, somewhere around the century mark at times. 86 to 90 plus on the breaking ball, heavy slider.
And that's a good pitch, 96 miles an hour. So Giles had a very good season last year. He did not have a good postseason. He pitched 7 2/3 innings in the postseason. He gave up 10 earned runs. Maybe a little bit out of gas. Who knows? A little bit inside. Chapman to follow, and then Pinder here in the bottom of the 9th inning. He's trying to make it interesting. Olson hangs in there. Oh. He did it.
Oh, isn't that great?
That's it. He's psyched. Waited to the bottom of the 9th inning.
There won't be any fighting over that later.
Count stays 1-2, 97 miles an hour from Giles.
Well, those numbers you mentioned about Ken Giles last year, and A.J. Hinch knows that he needs him for the long haul, which is a full season, and trying to get the confidence back in Ken Giles after an October that you probably didn't expect. Took out an article in the Philadelphia paper thanking them for booing him.
Well, he throws it right by Matt Olson, so Olson 0 for 4 with a couple of strikeouts.
It's gas. It's the heater. The old number 1. Right down Broadway, your best, my best. Challenge fastball. Little room for air. Got a 2-run cushion.
Well, the high fastball, seeing more and more of the high fastball thrown with high octane. It's just not able to be caught up by, I mean, Paxton himself up in Seattle throwing all high fastballs, and you see the swing and misses. What was it, 30 swing and misses?
31, I believe, was the number we had.
Wow.
That's the official
swing and miss.
That's amazing. I don't know that I've ever heard of 31 swing and misses.
No, you get 20. That's a lot.
Oh.
1-0 to Matt Chapman. He's 0 for 3. Couple of groundouts to third and a strikeout. Strike on the outside corner.
Maybe 31 swing and misses in the Kerry Wood game.
Yeah. Or Clemens 20 strikeout.
Yeah. Wow.
But if Paxton had stayed in the game, he might have struck out 20. He had 16 through 7 innings.
And Matt Chapman with a base hit.
Well, that's what Garcia did by getting the third out with the bases loaded, because now it brings up the tying of the potential tying run. Giles doesn't give up a lot of home runs, although he has given up some big ones, but Matt Chapman at least gets the 1-out base hit so hard that Correa could not get to it.
Well, the A's get a shot with tying run at the plate, and it's Chad Pinder. On deck is Piscotty. Pinder 0 for 3. He reached on an error in the 4th inning. First pitch is a strike. At base hit by Chapman. Broken 0 for 14 stretch.
So first hit against the bullpen of the Astros tonight. First base run.
Pinder bounces it to Bregman. He's got it. He fires to Altuve for 1 on to first, and that's a double play, and that's the ball game. Well, the Astros bullpen, the story tonight. 4 very good innings. They faced a minimum, and the Astros take game 2 of this series. 2 hours and 46 minutes was your time of game. The attendance was 9,675. Final score tonight from the Coliseum. It's the Houston Astros 4 and the Oakland Athletics 2. We'll have day baseball tomorrow as the A's will try to salvage the final game of this series. Time now for A's post-game live. Here is Jim Kozamore.